Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Elk Lodge podcast, the number one podcast of the future. Before we get started, I'm in a band, That Kid Is You, as you probably know. And our album, Argentina, that we've been working on for years, is coming out this Thursday, September 16th. So get it everywhere. And we also just released our first single called Falling For You. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. There's
YouTube.
a music video on YouTube. Check it out. Christine's in the music video, too. It's a lot of fun. And this is the album cover. So, yeah, fuck yeah.
And
That
the
Kid Is
album
You. Check it
drops,
out.
what'd you say? September 16th.
September 16th,
Okay.
correct. Now, this show is brought to you by Hexa Coffee, a Chicago-based company. They age some of their beans in whiskey barrels and bourbon barrels. I mean, if you're still getting your coffee from some corporate Starbucks or Pete's Coffee, you're blowing it. All
Life's
right?
too short for that, friends.
That's
Come on.
right. Go to hexacoffee.com. That's HEXE coffee.com and use the promo code ELK, E-L-K, to get 10% off of your purchase, or you can always visit them at their cafe in Roscoe Village in Chicago. Fuck yeah. So today on the show, we have Carlos Veron, one of our most fascinating people we know. He's an Argentinian man, a director of photography for many music videos, actually. Most of the music videos you've seen. And this was fucking awesome.
It was so nice. It was great to kind of see what he's kind of brought into your life, what you brought to his. It was nice kind of catching up on all the ways your lives have come together over the years. Mm-hmm. So I think you guys will love it. Scratch that. I know you're going to love it. So enjoy.
What happened to the other one?
He didn't even have to look over his shoulder to see it. He didn't feel the heat.
I can find his light. You know?
Oh, it's your light.
Yeah, we need that one.
Yeah, we're going to need that light.
He's looking after me and you.
By the way, I'm going to debut this on the show. Would you like to see the album cover for Argentina?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Tell me the
Still
story
kinda
about
wet.
these.
So a guy named Brooks, I forget his last name.
This is dope.
Yeah. JC found him through a friend. He does oil paintings. He's a really cool guy. We met him the other day when we picked it up.
Look at these.
Isn't that fantastic?
But yeah, we sent him the
fun.
photo of the two of us, and we said just kind of paint it and make it look more jungly. And this is what we got. And
This is amazing.
We're stoked on it. And he was like, he's just super cool. It was really cool. So yeah, this
I
is
love
the cover art for
It's a
Argentina.
beautiful-
And that's the
beautiful
name of the
cover.
album, by the way. I don't know if you knew
Argentina,
that.
yeah.
That's the official
I
name.
saw it. I saw it on Instagram.
Oh yeah, we've been blasting the Instagram.
Yeah.
It's super cool. And those masks that Huli made, which just
I know.
keep coming around. Just
Those masks will be
Working
sold
magic.
for millions of dollars someday.
Yeah.
Just
Already.
already, exactly. So cool. But yeah, bro. So
It's been a minute, huh?
it has been a
yeah,
minute.
geez. Since we saw you, you've been to London, Ibiza.
Yeah.
You went to
Where
the
else?
Canary
What have you been doing? The
Islands,
Canary
I remember.
Islands.
Yeah. I went also there too.
What's been
for a job.
happening? What have you been doing?
Yeah, talk us through it. Take us
Let's-
through the highlights.
I think, after the last 2 years of my life, I kind of had a big reset and decided not to be attached to anywhere in particular. And I miss Europe, and I wanted to travel again. I wanted to experience living in Europe again a little bit. So I did. I just got the fuck out of here and just go and hang out in London. My ex was there, and we started, hanging out. And now that I am in a very different place, things are going really well and having a lot of fun and very chill.
Good.
cool.
Fun is
You
good.
You shook up your life, you know? I think it's important to do sometimes.
Life
like
shook
this.
me up.
Well, that's true, yeah.
It's a little bit more than like
You're
that,
right.
You know.
So this was all like, you think had you not gone to the hospital, you wouldn't be in London. And like, this is all kind of stemmed from that, you think?
Well, between that and the pandemic, those were two things that first was being in the hospital and almost, not being able to, to tell the story.
Yeah, which you knew all about that, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean not?
Well,
That
story.
Carlos was in the hospital and stuff like that. You
Yeah,
knew
but
that.
I knew you were having like heart issues for a
Yeah,
while.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So after that, it was like, holy shit, I might die, you know? And it's like, first it was I might die, then it was, I'm not gonna live long, not even with a new heart that they were telling me I need. So it's like, they told me it was like 10 to 15 more years tops. I'm like, fuck, I'm young, what the fuck? Yeah. So I decided to just turn things around and do everything I could. And in that process, I started realizing a lot of things about myself, a lot of things I'd done wrong, a lot of things that I needed to change. And it was way easier than I thought it was going to be to get on the right path and actually really do change my life for good. It was a matter of like just saying, I'm going to do that. And it's literally that easy.
It was like a switch you
Yeah.
switched on. Like
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
By that you mean I'm gonna live life to the fullest was really the thing.
I've
To the
always
healthiest.
always
to the
been
healthiest,
to the fullest.
fullest.
Now it is, I am going to live life the best way I can possibly do, which is not the same as the fullest, you know?
Well, because the fullest sort of got you put in the hospital. He was too full, and he was filling up. I mean,
Yeah.
you had like water.
Yeah, and my lungs.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was full.
Yeah, I was full of everything.
But now, since I mean, you're surfing, you were hiking all the time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the visible change you went through.
Yeah.
You lost a ton of weight.
Yeah.
You just.
Well, do you remember when we met? I was like out of my mind.
Well, yeah. When we met, I mean, I think I met you like right on the cusp of this.
Of the
like
craziness.
You were swirling. You were.
Yeah, I was like, either I'm gonna go or I'm gonna go.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like
which was cool. I mean, at least for me, it was exciting. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't see it as like, oh, this guy's got a health
No.
problem. It
No,
was
no,
just
well, I
like,
was very
every time I
straight
saw
up.
you, though, you were just like, bro, I'm like dripping. It's like it was just like I was like, right now, like you're like, yeah,
It's 11
a
on a
lot.
Thursday, but
was
cool,
just
cool.
like-
Good to see you.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good. You got to kind of do that, and
Yeah. Yeah.
Hunter S. Thompson said, you can't find the edge unless you cross it.
But that's how I lived my life.
Yeah.
All my life I lived like that. It's like, in fact, a friend of mine, Marco, which you've never met, but I
I've
told
heard a lot
him,
about him. Yeah.
One day he sat me in my kitchen in New York, and he's like, dude, I need to ask this question. I'm really sorry, but I need to ask you this. Do you really have to take everything to 11? It's like everything. It's like, Marco, if I don't find my limit, I am not doing enough. And eventually, limit found me.
Yeah, you found it.
Yeah.
You found what you were looking for.
Yes.
And it
The
bit
edge.
you, but it didn't kill you.
No, it made me stronger, in fact.
Yeah, I would say so.
Sounds like it. So, what are these like new habits you've picked up? These new healthy
Um,
ways?
Activity, peace of mind, just basically eating very clean, very healthy. I only do wine and beer. No smoking, no eating junk, being active. Do a lot of hikes, biking. That's how I got my hand broken in London.
So what happened? You crashed your bike?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
a
no.
car hit you, or what?
No, well, I was going to the gym. This was the day before leaving for, like, actually it was like 36 hours before going to Ibiza with Lucy. And I'm like, biking to the gym. Oh, yes.
I was just thinking, oh, I forgot to turn off the AC, but I'll leave it on. Fuck it.
yeah,
The people can handle it.
No, leave it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was getting hot.
Good.
So,
You're in the hot seat.
You're in the hot seat.
I am literally arriving late to the gym. I can't find my helmet anywhere. The first time in my life that I ride without a helmet.
Oh, no.
I'm riding on the bike lane on the right, my right side of the road, British style, just like doing everything proper. And out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, like this motorcycle, full speed, comes straight charging towards me. Because there was a van parked, on a second hand, whatever you call it, like you have the parking lane, then the driving lane.
Okay.
It was parked there, blocking, the road. So this motorcycle came straight out of nowhere.
Yikes.
And I had no time to brake. All I could do is like push myself up so I would not hit straight on. But I did hit straight on. It's like all these, but my eye was like black over here. This was like that. It's still a little, I was like.
What did you hit? His helmet?
Helmet. The helmet.
You ran into him.
Yeah. I ran into the helmet. Then the helmet hit my chest, which I had a pain right here for a very long time. And I had like all this part over here was like massively hurt. And all this side was like super tender too. And because I pushed with this, and I don't know what I hit, but I broke the base of my thumb and one of the bones of my hand.
Jesus, dude.
What a
And
mess.
you know what was the craziest thing? It's like I land on the floor, I look up, and I'm like, I realized I was in an accident,
Yeah.
but I look around and I couldn't remember what I was doing there. I did not know where the hell I was going to. And I had no idea what was that bicycle that was destroyed in front of me doing there.
Whoa.
I had no recollection of.
You're like, that looks like my bike.
No, not even that. It's like, what's that bike? Who rode that bike? It's like, I know. It sounds like people
Wow.
start showing up, and I'm like looking up from the floor, and it's like, oh, you're bleeding. It's like, and I touch like that, and it's like, all blood. It's like, I start asking, do I need stitches? Is it that bad? It's like, what am I doing here?
Oh my.
So I start asking people like that.
But you knew who you were. You knew everything. You just didn't know like.
Did you know you were
I
in
didn't-
London?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did.
That's
I did.
good. You had the place down.
Yeah, but
so
and
much.
I kept looking down the road, in the direction that,
Like, where was I heading for?
why was I going that way? I'm like,
Wow.
and then I started realizing I was riding the bicycle, and then I started realizing, oh, I have a girlfriend. Hold on, let me call her. So it's like I text her, and I read the texts, days after that, and it's like I got in an accident. I'm not doing very well. I don't know what's happening to me. So I start texting her.
That's just succinct, though. That's impressive.
No, it's like, because I realized something was wrong with me, It's like, I really was
Yeah.
like, something is not right. And so immediately, all of a sudden, it's like the ambulance arrived, and they got me into the ambulance. They start asking me questions. I have no idea what they're asking. I'm like, so shocked. So they take me, all of a sudden, it's like, the door opens of the ambulance, and it's like, Lucy is there. It's like, are you okay? Are you okay? I say, yes, I'm okay. And I'm talking to my mom, because I also text my mom. So she's like, you handle my mom. It's like, I don't know what's happening here. And they took me to the hospital. And I stayed there for 12 hours. They did a CAT scan and x-rays. And they told me I had my hand broken. I didn't believe them. I was like, no. What's it? No, yes, you have your hand is broken. It's like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You have to wear a cast. It's like, no, please, no, I need to work. It's like, no, you gotta. And finally, they gave me a sling. Yeah, it was a crazy thing.
So when was that?
That was 2 weeks ago.
That was
What the
2
fuck?
weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you're
How
already in a sling? Jeez, this is
6
2
weeks. I have to be on it 6 weeks.
6
gosh.
weeks you're in that, or you have like a sling where it's like.
No, this they British
the
British
brace.
British call these a sling.
Oh, we're using British slang
sorry.
now.
Well,
just-
I'm repeating what I heard.
No, that's okay. The sling for us is like when it's
yeah,
looped
yeah.
around.
Yeah,
we
you're
call that a
right.
brace.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I guess
That's
I
a
would.
sling.
I didn't even.
It's a British
It didn't even
sling.
register to me. I was just.
How long did it take for you to figure out, like, oh, I was going to the gym?
Around between 5 and 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus, though, that like
It's enough to
I-
keep
but
you
that
from
moment
going
of
back
like,
to work
what
out,
I-
all right?
is going on?
But I really had to make an effort. It's like, what the? And I'm looking down the road. It's like, what am I doing here? Why I was going that way? What is that way? And the gym is a block away from there, because it happened to me right before arriving to the gym.
Yeah. Holy hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Man.
fuck.
Well, you're
that
still
was a close
standing.
call. Yeah,
Well,
glad
that's
you're
what
okay.
that's what they told me. It's like, that was a very close one. You got lucky. It's like, interesting. Second time
Second time.
in
Yeah.
2 years.
And probably like had you not been in such good shape, an impact like that might have been much worse. Like to be healthy and get injured, it's easier to heal. I feel like.
I'm okay. It's been painful the first 2 weeks. Just now, I'm starting to feel like the hand is starting to heal. It's like I've been able to put a little bit more pressure now. But they told me that I cannot do anything for 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, because if I use the hands, chances are that what's getting back together, it's gonna break again.
That's your left hand. Are you left-handed or right-handed?
No, thankfully. Well, I was when I was born. My grandma, helped me be a right-handed.
Oh wow. She's like,
you
we're
get
gonna
on the right
fix you.
side of
Old
this?
school.
We're gonna
Old school.
fix you.
Let me tie your hand to the left side, to the chair.
Wow.
Now
Oh my
right.
gosh.
Wow. And it worked though. She made you right-handed.
Yeah.
But that
can
was
play-
just because it's odd to be left-handed.
Well,
The
in
world isn't
Argentina-
made for left-handers.
Well, also
True.
you have to think it's
That's
like
what they say. I don't know.
I mean,
it's true. It's true.
They're not.
Well, at least it was true. It was true back in my grandmother's era, where especially in Argentina, there's not a big market like here. Back then there were probably 18 million people, even less. So they couldn't make a lot of things for left-handed. Let's make a left-handed, golf club.
golf clubs and stuff.
Here
yeah.
the market is massive.
Sure.
So there's always a.
But even here, like cars, you use your right hand for all this. Like that would be difficult with not my good hand. When you're writing, if you're left-handed, you're smearing over what you have just written because we write from left to right.
Yeah.
So it's the dominant hand. It
Yeah.
makes sense that that's what we favor, but
Yeah.
it definitely does
and
favor.
I think statistically, they're more of a right-handed people.
Way more,
than
yeah.
left-handed.
Way more.
So
I mean, we're better. We're better people. We're
that's not what I was getting at, but I just means
yeah. No, they're. I don't know what the percentage breaks down, but there
I have
definitely are more.
no idea
right-handed
what the
people.
percentage is. My sister is a left-handed.
What percent of the population do you think is left-handed? Can we look it up?
Yes,
Take
I
some
would.
guesses?
I would say if I have to guess, 12%.
I'm gonna go 5.
Oh,
You said
probably
12?
you're right.
I'll go
I don't
with
have
like
my phone. Actually, do you have your
22.
phone?
All right, let's.
22.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
22, 12.
I'm
and
glad
5.
to be in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so
How many left-handed people, or what percentage of people are left-handed
Globally?
globally?
Globally.
Universally.
Think globally. Act
Think
globally.
globally.
here we go.
Okay.
10 and 12%. I cannot believe that.
Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen.
Bravo.
Just reading because I didn't put my glasses on. I just want to make sure
That's what I'm
It
correct.
seeing.
says 5. It says 5.
Does it?
I'm just kidding. No. Wow, dude, great guess. 12%.
Yeah, well done. 12%. Yeah.
It's pretty good. That's.
If you've got it, flaunt it, Just
No,
wave
got
that
it,
left
flaunt
hand
it.
in the
There
air
you go.
and just.
I wonder if like left-handed people would be like left-handed, like
Cheers
and
for the
it's
12%.
Cheers to the 12%.
My sister is there.
So your grandma never fixed your sister. She stayed left-handed.
Yeah.
Why is that? Was it like she's
Because I was
younger?
the first one.
Right.
My sister was the last one, and my grandma was already old by then.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
first kid gets. You were the first grandchild.
Yeah.
Too. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You get
Oh,
all.
yeah.
Oh
the-
yeah.
You get
Oh,
all
yeah.
the attention,
yeah.
all
Yeah.
that
No,
attention.
Carlitos, no. Mm-mm.
just tie you up.
She was awesome.
But and your grandparents raised you largely, right, or something like that.
Yeah,
no?
I lived, for a long time in Mar del Plata when my parents were away. Yeah.
Where did they go?
They went to Italy. My dad was working for Olivetti, a company in Italy, and he had to do some sort of training in Italy, and they went there for a year, and they left me and my brother with my grandparents in Mar del Plata.
Were you upset about that? Did you want to go to Italy?
No, well, I didn't know. I want to be with my parents. I didn't even
Right.
know what
Italy
was,
is. Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But I had a great time with my grandparents.
Good.
Yeah, I learned that when I was 20 years old because my parents told me that actually they left only for 3 weeks or something like that.
That's what they had always told you?
Yeah.
And you just,
Yeah.
you were so
No, it was
young,
like-
you didn't really remember the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then they said, like, no, we were gone
No,
for like
no,
a whole year.
it was a whole thing because it's like I was in therapy after breaking up with my first girlfriend, and my therapist was like, "Did anyone disappear in your family?" I'm like, "No, but the dictatorship and all that, Argentina." It's like,
Oh, yeah.
No, not that I know. It's like, well, why? I was like, because you have abandonment issues. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, the only thing I can think of is like, you told me your parents had left for 3 weeks when you were very young and your brother was like 9 months old. Are your parents home? So, yeah. So go talk to them and ask them if it was really 3 weeks.
Whoa.
And it was a year.
Holy shit.
I found out that.
Hell of a therapist right there.
You just changed Paul's perspective on therapy. He's like,
I love
intriguing. I'm
therapy. What are
kidding.
you talking about?
But
No, but she's like Miss Cleo, this lady.
yeah,
That's
she knew. He was
incredible.
It was a
Sure.
he, yeah.
He.
He knew. Yeah, he definitely knew.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you got to talk to your parents about it?
Yeah. Well, they never really want to talk deeply about it. It's like the fact that they acknowledged that was enough.
Because you think maybe they feel bad a little bit about it, or is it just kind of their generation to like, what are we talking about all these feelings for?
I wish they could answer for me.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think it's part of their generation. It's like they've done things in the way that they believed was right for them, and right for us, and they never looked back at it. And it's a very different generation as my generation, and even more than your generation, because. Mistakes are something that each generation deals with it in a very different way. I feel, I feel like the more society progresses, mistakes are less of an issue and more of something to deal with. And I feel like mistakes in the past were something that no one, it's like kind of like sweep under the rug. That's what I feel.
I think that's definitely true. We're so globally connected now.
Yeah.
And we all know each other so
Yeah.
well. So like, if something happens to me, I don't feel like I'm the only person that this has ever happened to.
Yeah.
I just know for sure other people are going through this and other people are feeling this. And I've even seen, we've all seen even examples of people owning up to being selfish or being greedy or being rude or apologizing. And I think like we have more access to what everyone else is going through. So maybe back then it just felt like I'm probably the only one who's dealing with this. No one can know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm curious about this dictatorship.
Politics of shame.
What are you curious?
Were you
about?
born into the dictatorship? When?
I was-
What are the years
I was
for that?
right before. I was born in 1974.
You were born right before the dictatorship
Yeah.
came into power.
Yes.
Do you know much about the Argentinian dictatorship?
I know
It's
that.
fascinating.
Please.
Yeah, let's keep the vino flowing.
Not much. I don't know like how many people disappeared, but I know that it was an insanely rough time and a nasty civil war.
Yeah, I
going
mean,
on.
Nico explained it to me a lot. I asked him a lot of questions when I first visited them. I mean, he said it was like you couldn't even walk down the street in a group of more than 2 people because you're conspiring against the government.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of things. Like if you, for instance, were registered in the library, in the public libraries, and you had records of taking any books that had anything to do with socialist, communist, and subversive, left-handed ideologies. Just because of that, they will kidnap you. They will probably torture you and dispose you in the most horrendous ways.
Jesus.
It was a very complicated era for Argentina, and the interesting part is that it had the backup of the CIA. CIA was backing up, a lot of the coups and the military, governments that were, that were imposed, to democratic governments. And because it was a race against communism back in that time.
Yeah.
And anything that was like slightly to the left, the states wanted to eradicate off of America.
So
they were like providing weapons and funds.
and they just helped this
instability, creating the instability.
You know, I really don't know exactly what they provided. I know for a fact that in one of the books, I can't remember exactly in which book was about Henry Kissinger that I read. I don't know if it was Henry Kissinger's trials or a biography. I can't remember exactly. But, you know, in that book, there is a very clear moment where the ambassador for the States in Argentina in that time started getting letters from Argentinian families asking for the United States help to find out what is happening to all their families and friends that are being disappeared. There was a big, notion that the government was actually kidnapping and killing. So families were asking for the help of the United States government. The ambassador calls Kissinger, and Kissinger apparently flew back to Argentina, had a meeting with the Joint Chief of Staff, of the government, and in that meeting, the military, joint that was in charge was asking Kissinger, he's like, if you want us to eradicate subversion in such a short period of time, there is going to be a lot of people that are going to die, that are going to be innocent, and there's nothing we can do about that. It's like what you're asking us to do. And Kissinger's response was, do whatever you need to do, but make it happen. And then he left.
Gee, and how many people disappeared, like in total?
30,000.
30,000.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And so when did the dictatorship fall?
Well, it started falling. It was a process. It started, it started losing credibility and it started losing traction. I would say after 1980. And that's why the Falkland War happened, in a way.
Which was fighting the British?
Yeah. It's like to go and take the Falklands Islands back so that, I don't know why we're talking about these, but it's really
it's
funny.
okay. I wished or I talked to Nico about all this stuff a lot when I first met him. Yeah. And then I told my little brother all about this stuff, and he was so excited. And then he watched the Nico episode. He was like, I hoped you guys were going to talk about all that stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that stuff. So anyway, I'm just, it's fascinating, like, because
it's crazy.
The Falkland Islands is like an island off of Argentina that was colonialized by the British and being used by the British.
I don't know exactly what the story is, to be honest with you, but it's an island that has nothing to do with England.
Sure, but it was valuable to them.
Yes.
And to take it from England, you had to fight the British army, which is a much, much stronger army.
Yes.
Especially at the time than the Argentinian military.
Absolutely.
I mean, so this is like a superpower.
Absolutely.
So it was just like the leader of Argentina at the time was just
Galtieri, and
he was a drunk or something, right? Yeah. He was just crazy to even to do this.
But that was what they, what he thought would actually be the right thing to regain the trust of the Argentinian people.
Right. Everybody loves a war.
Everybody loves a macho badass that's just gonna take on anybody.
And we can move on from this, but the one thing that like really fascinated me that Nico told me was eventually the people were like so against the dictatorship. It was clearly like this was not going to work. You can't continue. And so the dictatorship agreed to let this guy in power, like to let this person become an elected president, but he had to pardon the dictatorship and and everybody who was part of the dictatorship had to be pardoned.
Yeah.
And the guy said, yes, I will do that. I agree. As soon as he gets in power, he says, oh, by the way, fuck that. You guys are all going to jail. And that to me is the most gangster shit I've ever heard of a leader doing.
Yeah,
it was cool as fuck.
That is remarkable.
Yeah,
you mean the right choice, doing the right thing.
Yeah, doing the right thing. You don't see that a lot.
I mean, he lied a little, but
he had a big, difficult government. Yeah, I remember though that those years. I remember when Alfonsín got elected, my dad took us out on the street to celebrate, and it was crazy. It was like in '78 when Argentina won for the first time the World Cup. It was literally like that. Everyone to the Obelisk, which is the center of like downtown.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
I've been there, and then they just went there when you guys won the the
Copa America.
Copa America.
Yeah.
So like Nico and them, he sent me photos that they all went to the office.
Yeah.
Because you got to go. Like
that's where you go.
That's where you go.
That's
like
where you
they
go.
just swarmed to it.
Yeah.
So how old were you when that happened? When it's like we're actually celebrating our freedom. Like that's how free
9
we are.
years old.
You're 9.
Yeah.
So, gosh, I mean, what a trip! Like,
Oh, dude, that was.
could you even process like what had happened? What and how long did it take for you to adapt and just get used to it?
That was the first time. Well, there was not much to adapt. For me, I was a kid.
Right. So not much changed.
But that was the beginning of something. I feel like that was something that made me, become very politically involved when I started high school. I was part of the student center, which was like each class had 2 delegates that represent the class, and in front of the authorities of the school.
Student government.
Yeah.
Damn.
And so it's like I was very, very adamant about that. And then
I'd vote for you.
and then when I went to engineering school, I also was part of the one of the political parties that actually we won. I was the vice treasurer. I don't know what the translator.
Treasurer.
Translation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird word.
It is a
Yeah,
weird.
so-
It really draws out.
The word you're looking for is treasurer.
Treasurer.
Yeah. Just like it's like turning on a motorcycle. Treasurer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it's a really lucky thing, lucky and unlucky, but a lucky thing to experience in your lifetime. And
Yeah.
I mean, you were so young,
Yeah.
but for people a little older than you, even more so, like to experience dictatorship and then to experience the freedom and like beyond that. Like, are Argentinians very weary of falling back into a dictatorship?
Oh, yeah.
Very weary of like, who are we electing? And like, oh, this guy is a little too.
But it's crazy because like okay, I don't know if I can say this, but I'm gonna say whatever. Living in the States for 21, 22 years almost, I've learned 2 things. Governments are mostly, all of them, there is an element of corruption. I've been watching the documentary on Netflix about 9/11, the new one.
Yeah, I saw
we
that.
haven't seen it yet.
I've been binging on that, and it's like it was so obvious that there was no need to invade Iraq. So obvious, the way the lies that were like pushed upon the people. In Argentina, we call that corruption. Here, you call governing.
It's politics, yeah.
It's politics.
Yeah.
In the same way that there's like you have all the lobbyists that are paying politicians, in order to have policies that will benefit companies that they are representing.
Yeah, it's insane.
In Argentina, we call that corruption. Here, it's called lobby.
Yeah.
It's a job.
I know. When I found
I
out that's
really
a job,
appreciate the way you're spelling that out but I don't know. I want to say that hearing you talk about that does humble me a little bit when I get angry politically. And I mean, I do think there's so many injustices in this country too. But I've never been in a position where I felt like I was going to be kidnapped out of my home or something like that, right? So I'm grateful for that, but you're right. There's so much corruption.
The corruption, and the corruption is everywhere. It is everywhere.
and so ingrained. I mean,
It's
like,
just human nature.
In
We're
government.
yeah,
there's
it's human
always
nature,
dickheads that
but it's
just-
also like
It's part of
try to
power.
hoard resources.
Power is something that, so far as I know and I've experienced in my life, power is the strongest force that leads towards corruption.
Definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
there is some sort of abuse that it's going to happen, you know, pretty much always when you have power. It's very rare. It's the exceptions are, you know, very, very small in percentages of people that are in a powerful position that don't abuse that power.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, you know, you build in these checks and balances to your government, which we have, but slowly those just get eroded and eroded and
Or
eroded.
loopholes are added.
Or
I mean, there's
loopholes
just
are
so
added,
many-
or like we all get scared and 9/11
Wars.
happens and we're
Wars.
like, we're so scared. Yes, do what you have to do.
You know, it's like it's very clear when we're at war. What do we know about war? You normal people, us normal people, do we know how to go fight a war? No. So what are we going to do? We're going to let the government that is supposed to protect us, you know, do their thing. So when a war happens, governments do whatever the hell they want. And you can see that, you know, the clear example, you know, in 2001, what happened after September 11 is government took over and did whatever the hell they wanted. They bent every rule of this country in order to make whatever they
America's
wanted
safe
to.
again.
You know,
Quote,
Really, in
unquote,
order to make
America's
money
safe.
is what they did.
money.
Like,
That's
But it was
exactly.
under the guise of we have to protect Americans,
Well,
and
exactly.
and a
Well, that was a
grieving country
pretext.
came together to like allow a lot of things that. I mean, there's a lot of things that's like snuck into bills at that time.
I was never gonna think that we were gonna end up talking
changed.
Me
about
neither. I
these, the
didn't
three
think it
of
was
us,
going to be.
huh?
I thought we were going to talk about New York, which I
Me-
still want to
me
talk to you
too.
about. But like, no, but we get scared
That's
and
the thing.
we say we give up
Yeah.
our rights because we're scared. It's like with COVID.
But not
You could-
always.
you
Look at
never
like gun
think-
rights. I mean, we have so many mass shootings all the time, and people are still clinging to these gun
Well,
gun
but
rights.
because
they're
they're
not going.
afraid someone's going to come shoot them. But you're right. The guns is seems to be a little bit of an anomaly. But like after 9/11, for example, we were petrified. Everybody.
Yeah.
And the government's saying we're going to go to war. We're going to fix it.
So
and we just said, yeah,
what-
whatever you got to do, whatever you got to do, go for it. We
And
love you. We
especially
trust
with
you.
all the bullshit that was fed into the public too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I remember being in New York. New York was a rough place where to be. It's like you could cut. You know,
You were in New York
Yeah.
on 9/11,
yeah.
and you had a view of the towers from your place. Then no,
Not that one, but my first wife back then, she worked in Midtown and had direct view from her office to the Twin Towers, where her sister and brother-in-law worked in. So when a friend of mine, Sebastian from Argentina, called me right after, I think it was like 8:50 or something like that. He's like, dude, turn on the fucking TV. And he's like, what's going on? He's like, a plane crashed on one of the towers. He's like, you kidding me? And I turned the TV on, and we're talking, you know, and he's like, he was right there taking photographs, you know, for his girlfriend back then. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? He's like, and my friend goes like, I think this is not right. And it doesn't look like this is like a small plane. It feels like it's a massive plane. And my friend starts telling me that. And as I'm looking at the TV, the other plane hits. And my friend goes like, holy shit. And he hangs up. And the first thing I said is like, you know, I need to reach, you know, and make sure that my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law are okay before my girlfriend, you know, it's like would find out. And they were okay, but yeah, it was a
God.
tough. It was a very
when
tough
that second plane hit, that's the most like
No,
fuck
I was
moment
I was frozen
because then there's no question.
Such a horrible image.
Yeah,
That was that
Bone
was
chilling.
yeah.
terrible. All of that footage was like, oh man, the collective trauma. I can't even imagine what
smell
it
of the
was like
city.
to be in New York.
The smell that was in the city for weeks, it was awful.
Just of like toxic burning
Burn,
chemicals. Oh,
chemicals like skin. It was really disgusting.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long had you been in New York at that time?
I arrived in '99.
So this was 2 years later,
Yeah.
2001. This will come out on like September 12th, this episode. The 20th anniversary, basically, of 9/11. Wow.
That's fine. Oh, well,
That
there you
is
go.
wild.
That's what we're talking about.
And here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Yeah.
Well, okay. What brought you to New York? Because this was a big,
A dream.
and not to just like pivot off of 9/11
No, yeah, let's
like
do it.
that. Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
pivot off.
Fuck this bummer shit. No, just,
No,
but,
no. I mean, it's like it really it's like stuck in my memory.
it's super heavy.
yeah, I do have not to completely gloss over all of the trauma, but you're now talking about living in Argentina during
The dictatorship.
a dictatorship
Yeah.
where 30,000
I was too young though.
people. Yeah, but there's collective trauma. I mean, in a society, I don't believe it just goes away. And then you
No.
live in New York at the same time. I wonder. I wonder, like, how the countries have handled that grief different, and like how that's impacted society. Because it seems like
That's a good
we
question.
touched on a lot changed in America, and from everything I've heard, the city of New York really came together at that time, and seems like resources poured into New York from all over the country. Like there was definitely camaraderie.
I do have to
just-
say that I don't know why. Maybe I'm absolutely wrong, and all the Argentinians are gonna hate me. But I have not been in Argentina for the past 21 years. I know Argentina has gone through a lot in these 21 years. I have not experienced living in Argentina. But when I first came to the States and I experienced 2001, I had never in my life experienced such camaraderie
Camaraderie, yeah.
camaraderie as that.
As New York after 9/11.
Yeah. And it's like, and it wasn't, and after that, it was like the blackouts in New York. New York was insanely together when that happened. It's like everyone was checking on each other. Restaurants were, making sure that people were fed. It's like it was really a magical time too. New York it's a whole different thing. I've never experienced anything like New York. That's why I feel like after being there for 16 years, I do consider myself a New Yorker, to be honest with you. It's like, it's something that everywhere I go, I have that heartbeat, in me. It's like New York's heartbeat is a whole different thing. It's unstoppable.
It's cool.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You were there 14 years?
16.
16.
Yeah. 17 actually total.
Wow. And so
I would like to go to New York with you. You let us know when you're in New York.
I would
We'll
love
try
to
get
take you around in New York. I would love to.
that'd be
fun.
sensational.
Yeah.
So you moved there to get into film. You're a
Yeah.
cinematographer.
Yeah.
You're a cinematographer.
Yeah.
DP.
DP.
You're DP.
I'm sorry, DP?
Director of photography.
There we go.
There you
Thanks.
go.
That makes sense.
And so you had gone to some film school, like you were doing film in
Yeah, I went-
Argentina,
yeah,
and you were like, if I'm going to do this for real, I got to go to New York, basically.
Well,
no?
it wasn't quite like that. It's
There was a dream.
yeah.
Un sueño.
yeah. I had a dream.
Un sueño de
I do have it.
nuevo,
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah. I had a dream, and that somehow I was going to be living in New York at the change of the millennium, and one day it's like I was starting to date this girl that became my first wife, and I used to tell her, it's like, I'm going to be living in New York, by the change of the millennium. It's like, oh yeah, you should totally do it. I thought that she was not into me at all. She wanted to get rid of me.
She's like, you should go now. But why,
She
why
was
wait?
like, no,
What are you waiting for?
you should totally do it. And then, she told me that, it's like, okay, let's go together. It's like, and she had, she moved to Pennsylvania when she was 16 years old because her dad got a job, was working for SKF, a ball bearing company.
Okay.
And, so they moved to Pennsylvania, and she went to high school and college there, and she wanted to go back. So we went back together. Yeah. and we went back to New York, and it was crazy because we landed at her sister's because a friend of mine had told me I could stay with him. When I arrived, he told me the day that I arrived, told me that he actually gave his apartment up and he was leaving the next day on a motorcycle road trip.
Thanks for the heads up, pal.
Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Oh my
cowabunga,
gosh,
dude.
he was planning
Yeah.
that a while. He could have just shot off
Well,
one text.
I guess something
Maybe a
failed
callback.
there. I don't know if it was like, my naivete
Well-
or that he just was too bohemian for me.
Perhaps, but also maybe that would have slowed you down. Like he got you to New York on a lie.
True that.
But he got you to New
True
York.
that. True that.
So not the
True
not the
that.
nicest thing to do, but
True
in
that.
retrospect, thank God he did.
Well, but it's like, in all honesty, I have to say, I don't think, thoroughly my decisions. I just, whenever I feel I have to do something, I just go and do it.
Yeah, I love it.
And then I deal with the consequences. It's terrible.
It's not. I don't think it is.
No,
Terrible. Because it's not like you're like, I'm gonna go rob a bank. You're like, I'm gonna move to New York.
No.
Like
Yeah.
the consequences. This is hard, and you figure it out. You know?
Yeah, like, it's like, there's moments where I go like, okay, so you know what, let's see what it is. Let's go sleep in the car for a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're living
Yeah.
life to the fullest.
I'm trying to
You were
experience
filling it
things,
up.
You're looking for those boundaries, the things, the lines in the sand.
The limits.
The
There you go.
limits.
Push
Let's
it. Just keep pushing those back.
Yes.
It's important.
Yeah, man.
It's super
I agree.
important.
I agree.
And so, like, when I first met you,
Yeah.
you were talking about your apartment because
Yeah.
you walked into my room in Encino and we were
Yeah.
mid jam.
Yeah.
And you were like, my apartment in New York used to be like this.
Uh,
And you were talking about this apartment, and we were with Charlie. Charlie didn't believe a word you said.
I know.
And I was apprehensive.
I could see in his face.
And yeah, no,
I
Charlie's
could see
like,
it in every-
what did you pay for rent? Like he just could not believe it. And I was on the fence.
Yeah,
I know.
I know.
I was like,
I-
either this guy is completely full of shit or he's super cool. And like this is LA. I've met both of those types of people.
Yeah.
So I had my reservations, but I was like, cool. But Charlie was not having it
No,
at
I
all.
know.
But anyway, you told me about this apartment in New York, and you were showing me pictures and telling me about these jams with
Yeah.
epic people.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this apartment Carlos had?
I don't think
It's so. How long did it take you to find that apartment?
Well, it found me, to be honest with you. It's like basically
Of course.
I mean, sure.
I was living back in that time. I was living in this village on 10th between First and A, right next to the Russian baths. And I
had
had
me at Russian bath.
yeah, no, it was awesome, and I had split up with my first wife, so I was a bachelor for the first time in New York, and I was already an established, starting like it was the beginning of my being established as a DP, and so I was like traveling a lot and not working much in New York. So every time I was in New York, it was like party time. And but I was working with a friend of mine back then, David Parker, who was a flame artist at the mill back then. That we decided to start doing a little, partnership, working together.
Sorry, what's a flame artist?
With
It's like
fire?
no, it's
that's right.
like Photoshop on steroids for moving images. Yeah.
I thought he just meant pyrotechnics.
I
So
thought you were
thank
like
you for
spinning a
clarifying.
toy or
No,
something.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
it's like a
A graphics guy.
it's like what you do with Photoshop. You do beauty retouch. You build layers
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You do that and much more for moving images.
Is it analog or it's still digital?
It's all
Okay.
digital.
So
yeah.
he's a special effects, graphics
Yes,
effects
it's-
guy.
yes,
GFX
there you go,
guy.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
no. So he had a house.
Learning.
He had a house in LA, and I had this apartment in this village. And we decided that we needed, it would be great for him to be able to have a place where to stay in New York, and because I was traveling a lot of, to LA to shoot, and I would have a place where to stay in So I was just starting to date this girl that became my second wife. And she showed me Brooklyn, a part of Brooklyn, which was South Williamsburg, which I didn't know South Williamsburg. I knew Williamsburg really well because I have done some stuff with Deutsche Gallery and Fisher Spooner on their rehearsal space in Williamsburg. So I used to hang out there a lot. She showed me this building that I always loved because every person coming in and out of it when I was running with the bridge runners in New York was cool. I'm like, I want to live here. And eventually she takes me to the rooftop and I look at these penthouses like, I want to live fucking there. It's like, and I take a picture of it. And she's like, well, if you want to live there, it's like, it's like I hook you up. I don't know if you can live there because that's a penthouse, but I'll hook you up with the owner because I used to live here. So she hooks me up with the owner of the building, the Hasidic Jewish Nachman. And I have an interview and with the manager of the building and Nachman. Nachman could barely speak any English because he had a stroke, so he couldn't really modulate much. So Marla, the manager of the building, said, you know what, I like you. It's like, you'll find. You'll have the apartment. Let me show you what we have available. So she takes me to the top floor, and I'm like, I know that this first door is the door I want, and we walk past it. 1, 2 doors, she showed me, these apartments. I will take it. 1 month took us for us to remodel everything, to get it ready. We start moving everything in. The day we start moving everything in, she knocks on the door. She's like, Carlos, you're gonna hate me, but I have to show you something. It's like, okay, show me. So she takes me to the apartment that I always wanted. She opens the door. We go in, and the first thing I notice on the floor is like something, written with a finger on the concrete floor, which were the names of the people that used to live there. Then at 99, from the year that they started living there, which was the year that I moved to New York, a heart and an eye, And I go like, I'll take it. And she's like, you haven't seen anything. You haven't even seen the view. It's like, no, but I saw that. This is the place. This is a magical place. It's like, you're the first person that notices this. The couple that built this apartment did that, and they were the most wonderful people. It's like, this apartment is yours. When can I move in? And she was like, move everything now if you want. So I took everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
Unreal. And this is like, you're across the river, you're looking at the
magic.
city.
This is pure
You gotta see
fucking
pictures.
magic. This is
mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, like for someone from Argentina with a dream, blah blah, that eventually one day was running, in front of this building, and then became something that I would do all the time, and always dreamt of living there. People can say whatever they want about manifesting things. I believe in it because every single thing I wanted, good or bad, I have lived. So
I like the way you put that. Everything you wanted, good or bad.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
Man, and so you move into this apartment. Mm-hmm. How long does it take for this to be like the spot that people are just showing up? Because wasn't it like you would even leave town and just there's still a party happening there when you're gone? Like people had the keys.
No. That was after. That was like a couple of years. Like probably that was like.
So at first you're just living in this dope apartment.
4 years. Yeah, that was 4 years after.
Because you moved into it with your wife.
No, with my business partner back then.
Okay.
Yeah. And
with the LA guy.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. But then what ended up happening was that the girlfriend became, more real and whatnot. And basically, my relationship with my partner was not going well. There were he had some identity issues, and so it felt like really weird. he started dressing like I used to dress. He started buying the same books that I had. It was a very weird moment in my life.
Oh.
And
Fast forward to season 2 of You coming out soon on Netflix.
Is that what that show's about?
No, it's just like a stalker show, but yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
and
Like swim fan situation.
Yeah, classic swim fan.
Classic.
it was a weird moment in my life because everyone was like, "Well, you guys are twins." It's like, no.
No, actually,
me.
Me.
all of a
Yeah.
sudden I have a
He
mirror
seems to be me.
image is actually what's happening.
But eventually she moved with me and, he left. Yeah.
So it took a couple years though for this to
Yeah.
really become established as like
Yeah.
a scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when did the scene start and how?
Well, it started with Bianca and Sierra from Coco Rosie.
Okay.
It's
Shout out. I've still never met them, but I feel like I know them. At this point.
They are amazing. But then that's when I learned that my apartment had these music magical, predisposition, sort of speaking. And from then I started building into a recording studio, and then a lot of friends started coming and hanging and jamming and recording. And it became really popular for these massive dinners that I would do for like whoever wanted to come and jam, and there were some crazy jams.
I mean, let's just drop some names here.
No, I don't want to.
Come on.
I'm not like that.
I've
not
heard
like
the
that.
names.
Yeah,
I'll start. Lou Reed jammed there
He stopped by.
from the Velvet Revolver. Lou Reed. David Byrne.
He stopped by.
Karen O.
No, she did not play.
Oh, thank
No.
But she was there.
She was there.
She was there.
She's
Coco
my icon.
Rosie.
Yeah, but then
Paul
it's like-
Banks
yeah,
from Interpol, the lead singer
yeah.
for Interpol.
yeah.
Dave Sidek. Do you know Dave?
No, yes, I met Dave here actually,
Oh,
but no,
okay,
he
okay.
did not play.
I didn't
in my
know if there was
house.
that- that was the connection.
But some of the guys from TV on the radio played. It's like Matt Sweeney. Matt Sweeney brought a bunch of guys too. There was
Matt
like
Sweeney, the engineer for like Nirvana.
no, Matt Sweeney. The last thing, Matt Sweeney is he's a legend of the guitar.
Okay.
And he was recently, I don't know what he's doing now because I haven't, catch up with him in a very long time. But he was on Iggy Pop's band like a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Epic.
Oh,
And
no,
so you were hosting these dinners. Did you cook the
Yeah,
dinners?
yeah. Oh,
Crazy-
well, you know,
crazy
I cook.
cooking.
Yeah,
Everybody-
fantastic
I know I
chef
cook.
over you.
We know,
Yeah.
but so the people know.
Yeah.
And people would come to these epic jams.
Yeah.
Would neighbors never complained? Your neighbors were at the jams? How'd it go?
I always used to leave the door open so that anyone that wanted to join could join, and anyone that
It's really nice.
that wanted to complain could complain. And there were moments that we were out partying, like 4 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden a bunch of friends were hanging out at a bar or a lounge or whatever, and someone says like, I have the itch, let's go play. Yeah, let's go play. And we would all jump, in cars, get to my home, 4 o'clock in the morning, and just start jamming full blast, full on blast.
That's a party you want to go to, not live next
host?
to,
Not
not
live
live
next
next
to.
to. I like your open door policy though. You're onto something with that.
You have to.
It's kind.
'cause You have to. It's like the moment that people would come home and realize that all these, incredible musicians were. It's like they were like, okay, I'd rather not complain and chill.
Right. If they come in and complain, you're like, well, should I
it's like-
tell Lou Reed to stop?
No, but that was something
That was just one time?
Yeah, it was something that just was like so fucking crazy. But it's when you have people like that they're just like going. What are you gonna do? You can't stop it.
Yeah, you created
can't.
this
It's
safe
like, you can't
space
stop
for
the train.
music. Who are you to say it's no good anymore?
No, I remember one day. It's like my second ex-wife comes from work late, and it's like Bianca, Sierra, Gael. It's like and some friends of them are jamming in my living room, And she goes like, I'm tired. It's like, yeah, okay, go to your friends. So you're not gonna go to sleep because we're not gonna stop these because this is what's happening. It's pure magic, you know. And she's like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, but she did not like it.
It sounds like it just like took on a mind of its own.
It's, you know what? I mean, come on. Anyone that wants to stop something like that does not respect, you know, the magic of what's happening. And when that magic happens, it's so fragile and delicate that you really have to nurture it and protect it because the slightest, you know, bad vibe just stops it. And I've experienced that many times. It's like there's a lot of times that, you know, I suck at playing anything. You know, it's like, you know,
I wouldn't quite say that.
But I'm really good at creating like some frequency that people feel like, oh, if this guy's doing that, I can definitely play.
That's very true.
You know?
Well, there's a fearlessness to your approach to almost everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you play, it becomes very. It's welcoming.
Yeah,
because you're like
it's
you're like, guess who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
not me.
Not me.
That's who.
And I'm gonna
do you? I don't know why. Because I know
I'm gonna do these until you fucking get it. You know, and you take over.
Yeah.
So, you're okay. Good. Let's go.
And it led to some really fun jams. At my place.
Yeah.
Not like your place.
That was awesome.
It was a special little. There was a moment there. We were every Friday.
Yeah.
People would just come into my bedroom and we would just jam. And we were living for these Friday jams. You know, the neighbors eventually complained and we kind of it dwindled out from then.
Should open the door.
Fucking
we should have told them
different
to fuck neighborhoods.
Different neighborhood. Yeah, this was not New York City.
No, and this building was full of like artists in a way. You know, so it's like there was a little understanding.
We were in suburban
there.
Encino.
Yeah,
but still. It was special, and like, and it's that fragile environment. Even just the wrong person, like, ooh, who invited her? Like, she's killing it.
Do you remember?
I do remember. We know who we're talking about.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
JC had met this one random girl who seemed really cool and innocent at first, and he's like, you know, you should come over to my house. Like, my friends are so cool. Like, we jam, and it just ended up
having an argument with me. And like, do you remember?
Right, She had came the week before we met Carlos. So she came. She's like, this is cool. Then she came the next week. Carlos is there. And I think she was kind of jealous that like we all liked Carlos. And she was kind of like, who's this guy? But we were like, who are you? Like, we just met you.
No, but
we just met him. You know?
She was really talented. I was telling her, it's like, you know, it's like, listen, it's like, you're really talented. And have you teamed up with a really good producer that can understand? Do you remember? And she started like getting so mad at me because I was suggesting that, you know? And
she took offense to you saying you need a producer.
Yeah.
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 And then, I mean, whatever, we can move on from it, but she's like calling you out. She's like, I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Like bullshit. And you're like, everything I'm saying happened to me.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you know that point where someone's losing an argument. They're like, well, why are you yelling? Why are you being so defensive? And then Jill is like, bitch, you're attacking him. Of course he's being defensive. And I was like, I love Jill. Jill, I love you so much.
Yeah, Jill was awesome.
Like Jill in that moment, I was like, yes. Like sometimes you need a fucking
Jill's
sassy
like, oh no,
Aviles
you're
come
not
at
getting away
somebody.
with this on her watch.
I know. Yeah, she was like, It was great. I think she might have even clapped with every word she said at some point.
Yes, she did.
It was.
Oh my gosh!
It went there. And it was beautiful.
That is a disruptive moment. That'll change the pace of whatever's happening around you.
Jill fixed it because this girl she was killing it. She was murdering the vibe.
Yeah, that's what I felt because it was such a great vibe.
So good, so open, so welcome, and even like. I didn't trust everything you said at first.
No, of course.
But
it's like, you know,
we looked each other in the eyes
life.
and we talked about it, you know?
Do you remember that?
I do. I love you.
Yeah, same.
And the moment I met you, I felt like
I
felt like I could be so honest with you.
Yeah.
I just felt like I could.
That you told me that.
And a lot of things. Sometimes if I meet someone and I'm not sure about them, I don't say anything. But like I told Carlos, like everything, all my suspicions about him. I told him everything.
Because
the reasons why I didn't.
It was true.
Like why I wasn't accepting him coming in, because you came in and you're like, oh, this is like a thing, you know, and like we should all make a band. We should like do something with this.
Yeah.
And I had and like you sort of had come into our group of friends. Like we had all been, you know, and
you've all been together for a while.
Right.
You've known each other forever, and you had your own thing. And I was invited by
Steve, who you have not met, but
an amazing character of life that I love him dearly.
Shout out Steve Heiss.
Yeah, and you know, he's like, "Oh, you gotta go." Yeah, I was like, "Okay, what should I bring? Should I bring?" He's like, "My guitar, my amps, my keyboard. What should I bring?" He's like, "Well, it's like." And Steve was, "No, don't bring your guitar. Don't bring your guitar." It's like. I know where I'm getting into. It's like, you know, they are like into like loops and shit like that. No problem. I bring my guitar.
I'll bring my pedals too. Don't worry.
You know?
No, but that was cool. But it was like, I just had this, and it was because I was triggered by something that happened in my past. Where like when I was in college, I had my band.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden outside forces were like, came in and it sort of got swallowed, like my thing got swallowed up into some other whole other thing.
No, that was not me. Not what I wanted to do ever.
And I know that.
Yeah.
But that was the reason for my apprehension with you coming into
Of
our
course.
world and being like,
Of course.
let's make something. Like I and you were even kind of like, I've always wanted to do this. Like, let's do it. We'll call it this. And it was like a name you had picked out, which is exactly what happened to me in college. That this guy like had a thing he had tried to do earlier and it didn't work. And then he met me in my band and he was like, I can infiltrate this and do it here.
But it's like what I wanted is like, you know, for you guys to do your thing and for, you know, for whatever to happen. I just wanted to do things. You know?
I know that, and I knew that pretty quickly after that. But I was very apprehensive of Carlos.
Yeah, you know, at the
him.
beginning it was like it's like okay, and back in that, especially in that moment, I was like a plow. You know, I was coming in. I'm coming in.
But they needed you in some way because eventually you became their informal, or what did you call it?
She was soft managing
this.
No, I never managed. I never know what I was. Is like I was a fan that wanted the best for them.
Right, but even just the habit of getting together for a Tuesday night meal, was it?
Yeah, we would do our Tuesday night meals, which was
supper
amazing.
Club, and focusing on how to advance their music. That was manifesting.
Well, and the biggest thing,
if nothing else,
is Carlos told us, you guys also need a fucking producer.
Yeah.
And then eventually he said, I know a producer.
Because I was trying to hook you up with producers.
Up.
I was trying to. It's like, and that's how Jeff came into the picture.
Yes.
But the Jeff thing, you know. I got you.
For anyone just listening,
Sophia?
we are house sitting a beautiful, ugly, stinky bulldog named
she's beautiful.
Sophia.
And she's
She's beautiful.
Sophie.
She's beautiful.
But yeah, you said you guys need a producer, and I actually at first I was like, I'm a producer. That was kind of my reaction.
But that's the problem that every musician has.
I know. And then
all humans really. It's
you have never been more right. Is my point.
It's easy to put defenses up
Yeah.
in anything, in any
It's just
number
ego.
of ways.
And
I
It's ego and fear.
am not
ego.
easy because I'm as I said, I'm a plow. So I see people reacting to what I'm saying, you know, just off right and left. It's like, what does he think he is? It's like, no, dude. It's like, trust me. It's like if you team up with someone that understands what I see and I feel from your art, you have no limits. No limits.
No limits.
No limits.
Well, that's what life should be about. No limits. That's how you live fully. You know, just bringing down every barrier, every obstacle that presents in front of you. Mm-hmm. That's why there should be no limits. No, it would be amazing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think at the very least, no fear. So you can sometimes say, I'm going to stop drinking for tonight.
Yeah.
That's a limit.
Yeah.
But it's based out of love for yourself, not based out of fear.
No. Fear sucks.
But you shouldn't say like, oh, I'm not going to try and get that job, or I'm going to limit myself to just stay here or do this or do that.
Don't limit.
No limits. Okay.
Don't limit. You know,
Here,
but
tell me
that's when I had a moment. It's, I don't know why I did not think about Nico earlier. Even before Jeff, I should have thought about Nico.
You thought about Nico at just the right time.
I was like, dude, I got it. And right there, I sent him a Facebook text. You know, hey, so these are the guys. This is the music that they're doing. It's just
We talked about this briefly, and
Yeah.
Nico said that the way you delivered it was like, "Have you heard? Like,
Have you heard of That Kid
have
Is
you
You?
heard of
They're
That
the
Kid Is
future of
You?"
pop or something like that. Not like these are friends of mine or I know these guys or I'm
You
working
just-
with these guys.
That's amazing, though. Wink, wink. Got it.
I'm a great salesman.
It was well delivered.
Bro, you're the ultimate salesman.
I'm a great salesman.
You became our manager
Yeah.
because we played Ham and Eggs. Or no, we went to Ham and Eggs
Oh,
because
yeah.
our friends were doing a comedy night there. Carlos goes to the bartender,
yeah.
talks to her, Jillian. Shout out to our friend Jillian. We should have her here sometime.
Oh, yeah.
But because we ended up going back to this bar a lot and playing there because of Carlos. So Carlos talks to her, and then I don't know what the conversation they're having. Later, we go talk to Jillian, and she's like, "Is that guy your manager?" And we were like, "No, that's just our friend Carlos." And she's like, "Well, he should be your fucking manager because he just came over to me and said, 'Do you want to start a scene?'" And she's like, "I'm listening." He's like, "Do you want to be like?" And he sold her on this beautiful vision of like, yeah, like she's like, he should be your manager.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You are. I mean,
that's
I
epic.
think I'm going to call this podcast the Argentinian Connection because you have connected us with so much.
You know, it's like,
Between Jeff, the show we played this live show after you and I
that was an awesome
first kissed
show.
and I had to rush back to LA for this show. There was a show that like we did at this art gallery and Carlos was like, "I'm gonna get my lighting guy here. He's gonna set up a big light thing. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that." And like the venue people, when we're first looking at it,
Are
are
those
just
the
like,
pictures that are all like pink and purple lighting?
I think so. Yeah,
The
they gotta
beautiful, beautiful photographs.
gotta be. And-
Well done.
We're
That
just
was
like,
fun. That was a
okay,
lot of
this will be
fun.
really cool if Carlos does everything he's saying. But I mean, I guess even if he does half the things he's saying, it'll be pretty cool.
I
And
deliver.
Jeff, no, you did,
Yeah.
but we didn't. For some reason, I still
know,
doubted you.
I know.
And Jeff was there.
Yeah.
Because you had left the room,
Yeah.
and everyone, all the like the venue people and stuff were like, "Look, there's a simpler way to do it than what he's saying. Like, we don't even know if this is going to happen. It sounds pretty far fetched." And Jeff is like, "Look, I'm just going to say this. I know he sounds crazy. I know it sounds like it's not going to happen, but he has never not came through." Like Jeff was like, "If he says he's going to do it, in my experience, he is going to do it." And lo and behold, that day, like grip trucks and fucking and
I had
and
arranged everything.
human labor, dudes
Yeah.
with work gloves are loading on stage on, putting up lights, putting up sound equipment for our show.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, don't worry, just like, you know, just and
At no
I
cost
arranged
to us.
everything.
I don't know if you paid them or if they just.
No, these
they-
are all people that, you know, I work with, and
It was
that
crazy.
They are family and they are amazing, and thank you to all of them.
Oh my
'cause,
God!
yeah.
Especially Red, was it?
Red.
The guy? Yeah,
Red is,
Red is the man. He ran
Red
the
is
sound
one of the
and
most
lights.
incredible human beings I've ever met in my life, and he's the hardest working person I know, and most talented.
He killed
Yeah.
it that night.
yeah.
It was quite a show.
Yeah.
Man, that was a really cool experience. And we're gearing up.
Yeah.
We're going to do another one of those.
Good.
I really would like. Do you know? I haven't seen Paul like play live music since I was like.
It's
When
In
I'm not
high
the drummer,
school.
you haven't.
I've never
You've only
seen That
me
Kid
be the
Is You
drummer.
perform.
Yeah, she's
That
never
was-
seen That Kid Is You perform.
That was another thing. Do you remember when we were
I'm dying
talking
for it.
about you not drumming, you getting a drummer because you needed to be a frontman?
Yeah,
That was awesome. Awesome talks too.
that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
still want to drum.
No, of
I
course
was
you
gonna
do.
say, I don't
You're a
think-
drummer at heart.
I don't
but
think he's
still-
relayed that conversation, that pep talk to me.
Well, it wasn't even a pep talk. Well,
No, it was a talk. It was a
talk.
it was a
we all
dialogue.
agreed.
No,
but
it was a dialogue
'cause we
about
did
like
this-
what do you want to do? You know,
we did the
how do you
show.
want to present yourself?
we did the show, and I was like, all right, we'll put together a band. So it was like Brendan on guitar, Dude was on the bass, Silas, our friend who we haven't met, he's amazing, was on the
Yeah.
keys, and I was on the drums because I'm the best drummer of our friends, you know.
Yeah.
But then for the show, I have a microphone,
Yeah.
but I'm the drummer. JC is the only one really up front.
But the chemistry of both of you, up front is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And so we realized after that show, we need a band with the drummer. And we realized like we should get some like assassins to back us up, like a stupid good.
Yeah.
Like because I was like,
No,
assassins.
you need someone who's going to like if they start like improving, that what
Can respond,
what the
yeah.
band is gonna
Give it.
bring is the most mind blowing musically, supporting to your improv.
yeah. So after we dropped the album, because that's all I'm focused on right now is just getting this thing out.
Yeah.
Because there are like so many little checks to check off the list.
So what's happening?
for it to go out?
Yeah.
But it's coming out September
Good.
16th.
Fuck yeah.
So, and I mean, there's the cover. We
Yeah.
got the cover.
Fuck yeah.
I've been collecting everybody's like songwriting ID and stuff so that we can credit all the songwriters because it's like me, JC, Nico, but also so many other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Maya, like Nico's whole family basically, and my friend Tato and Chibi and Chicho and Suker is on one of
you
them.
guys had like
It's like such a
fucking
It's a
hell.
robust
dude, and we filmed the
album.
whole thing.
I know.
So we have it. There's,
They
but
just
anyway,
filmed another music video.
I sent it to him today. Did you watch it? Did you have a chance?
I had no.
We'll
I'll show it
watch
to you.
it. I'm
We'll watch it
excited
on
that
the
we
big
get to
screen.
watch it.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for you to see it.
Perfect.
This
The lighting's fantastic. You'll be proud.
It's
I'm gonna
really
be
cool.
jealous.
You'll be proud, I think.
Okay.
I hope you're jealous. I hope you're like,
Perfect.
fuck. I want
I
to do
should
your
have
next
done
video.
it. I should
Yeah.
have done it. I should have done
God, I hope you.
it. That's why when you, it's like, I was like in my vacation. I was like, shit, right now, no.
Oh yeah, because we hit him up to see if he was around.
Yeah,
to shoot it.
I wanted. Since I met them, I wanted to do a video for them.
Yeah, Carlos
How
really
about for
likes.
the Grammy-winning video?
Oscar winning. This is the first
Oscar
time.
winning.
Well,
do
we
they
always-
do that? I don't
No,
know.
no.
They don't do Grammys for music.
They
videos
don't
do
either. That's the
Oscars for
music
music.
video awards.
Well,
They, don't do
have.
Grammys.
They
for
don't do a
music
best music
videos?
video at the Grammys.
I have no idea about awards,
Do they
to be
not?
honest with you.
Well,
I
best
thought it's the
song of the
VMAs.
year. It'll be the video that he produced.
Well,
no idea.
Carlos
about
will
awards.
definitely direct
Song
at
of the
least
year?
one video.
I hope I do.
We always wanted you to do like yesterday
Yeah.
off the EP,
Yeah.
and maybe we still will, but
We'll see.
But maybe we'll get you on something fresh.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that you liked our music. And not that like you did it to be a favor, but like it really put a
He
lot.
freaking loves your music. Are you kidding me?
Bitch, are you kidding me?
Fuck yeah, I love your
But
music.
it put it's a turning point for us. Meeting you
Really?
is a major turning point.
Oh, I'm very
it
happy
made
about
us
that.
from like
But I didn't do
we're
anything.
bedroom producers and our friends think we're all right to like this guy just came in, he fucking loves us and he's legit and he wants to introduce us to people and like
Everyone I
it's a huge
showed.
corner we turned when we met you.
Well,
and
thank
then
you,
you
man.
introduced us to Nico and fucking
Yeah.
everything like
That was
Even
amazing.
before that, you like
I was
I'm
so
grateful for
happy
you.
when you tell me. I'm grateful for you. You really, it's like your music touched me, moved me, inspired me, and it's like, okay, let's make it happen. It's like, who do I know that can help you? It's like, and I started introducing to the people that I know that could help you. And I think what you guys did with Nico is mind blowing. It really is magic. It's something that's when you showed
incredible.
it to me for the first time, with the ravioli that I made from
Yeah.
scratch, and it's like I was like, holy fuck! Do you remember?
I do.
That
I
was
do.
so.
I always love showing
Person-
you songs.
Yeah.
Person doesn't forget homemade ravioli either. Let's be real.
No, oh my gosh, Carlos
that
is
was-
such a good cook.
Yeah, it was a great meal too. Huh?
I know, and we would just get wind up and fucking.
And didn't I do chocolate mousse for dessert and some souffle for starting?
I believe so. I believe so.
No, I was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm getting a little heated over here.
No, it's like it was so
Slightly
much fun.
erect over here.
Those were great times when we were doing those Tuesday meals or.
I love it. There's something so wholesome about like if I drink a bottle of wine by myself, I don't feel that good about myself. But there's something very wholesome about going to Carlos's house,
That was fun.
eating a lot of food, and just drinking a shit fuck of wine.
Yeah.
Like it
And-
feels
and listening to
wholesome.
music
and listening to
and
music
just talking, yeah.
and just like
Listening
I'm
to
never mad about
records.
There's a quote on this wine bottle.
oh, what's that?
It's like a very fortune cookie quote. It says, "Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire."
That's it.
That's the right wine we're drinking.
That's
right?
it.
It made sense. Sometimes you just got to crack open a bottle. They should all come with fortunes.
I agree.
They should.
You know, forget fortune
I
cookies.
like it, but
Let's
I
just
like-
slap one of these. on
Fearlessness is, I think, the most important thing in this world.
True.
Like, there's a kind of a theory or a concept like love and fear are the two things that motivate everything. It's either motivated by love or by fear. And that's all there is in the world is love or fear. And like choose love over fear no matter what. And so it's like, I'm going to work out. You can still even go work out, but do it because you love
Yeah.
yourself, not because you're afraid of
But that is it.
being unhealthy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and if you're doing with love, but yeah, fear is the devil.
You can
Fear is-
always focus on different things. Yeah. And this is the one thing I told you at the beginning that I've learned the most, from my experience of almost dying. It's like when you focus on what is negative, on what is wrong, what it's not right, what it's missing, you are living in a world that lacks of all the positive things that you have, because you're only focusing in everything that is lacking in your life. If you start focusing in all the things that you do have, yeah, then you're going to start living a life of abundance. For as little as it is that you have, it will be something that you have instead of you don't have. And that positivity alone is what triggers a different way of thinking that makes you live in a different way. If I would have focused on my heart not being right, on the years that I was projected that I was going to live, and everything that I was not going to have, then I would probably still be there. But instead, I started focusing in all the things I am listening. My heart is still beating. I still enjoy food. No salt, but I still enjoy it. I still, have my friends. I still, and little by little, you start realizing that, there's a lot that you have to be grateful for. You focus on that, you nurture that, and then the circle starts expanding. And life is good. It's like life is always good, no matter what you have to face, because it's always something that it has the possibility of teaching you, expanding your knowledge, being grateful, or even like learning that you have done something wrong. And every process of that, especially I've learned the most and I felt the best about learning my mistakes. It's the best moments have come from understanding that and from turning those mistakes around. Those have been the best moments of my life.
Yeah, I agree. I almost died
Beautiful
also one
advice.
time. Yeah, beautifully put. Like, did you care at all about like your legacy?
I don't.
Did it change that at all?
Legacy. It's like legacy. What are we talking about?
So for me,
Yeah.
I think it's weird to care about your legacy. Who cares? You're going to be dead. You're not going to care. You're not going to even know if people remember you.
That's a part of,
It's very ego driven. But when I was laying on the ground, almost dead, I was thinking about my life and thinking, what are they going to say at my funeral? Paul was nice. There's no album to point to. There's no book, no script, no. This isn't like here's his art. Here's his like. There's no catalog of work to look at.
Yeah.
There's just
Yeah.
He was really nice. He
Yeah.
was cool.
There
he
was
a
a
good
catalog of work. I've seen your pastels in your parents' bathroom.
friend. Okay, there's a
I've-
catalog of
you've
childhood
performed-
art.
Yeah, you lived a.
But I'm just saying, I
everything you
realized
did.
in that moment,
I know
I
exactly
was
what
like,
you're talking
"Fuck,
about. Yeah.
this does matter to me."
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing, and
No.
it's perhaps ego driven, and it's odd. But I realized in that moment, I really actually care about like really doing something
Yeah.
like that has an impact
Yeah.
on culture,
Yeah.
and leaving that behind.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I cared that much.
I was thinking
until
about this
I was
today.
almost gonna die.
Yeah.
What were you thinking today?
No, exactly. What you're talking about. It's like about the things that you leave behind to be remembered by. And I've done work that has been seen by billions of people in a way, but I don't consider that to be, something that it's my legacy. I feel like my legacy comes more from how I impact other lives. That's that's the legacy that I want to leave. That's this thing that you're talking about of it's like, who's this crazy guy that showed up in my house and tells me, do you want to do these? And all of a sudden it's like you come through with what you try to do, which is help other people, support other people, make other people, feel good about themselves in order to do whatever they want to do. That is the legacy that I think is the most, valuable for me to leave. The rest is part of egotistical things and reasons, I hope that my legacy is, helping other people, be better, do things that they want and be happier, or at least experience things that otherwise they wouldn't have. Because I think that's a beautiful thing too.
It is. And like, the notion of everyone at my funeral saying he was nice is very good.
Yeah.
But I guess I just didn't realize until that moment that I was like, oh wow, I actually care about that.
No, but
Why would people
you?
are like, look at all this fucking music this guy made.
Exactly.
But when I fell, I had not put out anything. Nothing was released.
Oh, really? At that time?
At the time, nothing was released.
Uh-huh.
I fell in August. By that November, I put out my first album called Be Strong in the Abyss.
Have I ever heard it?
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever
It's on
heard
Spotify. Check it out. Be Strong in the Abyss by
Are
Paul
you
Brisky.
kidding me? All right, there you go.
And then JC and I formed That Kid Is You and started focusing more on that. But it was like, before falling, it just jump started like, oh my God, I actually really care about this. And like, I better get going to make this happen.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of people that don't get that wake-up call.
I know. I'm very grateful for it. It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
By far.
Since I met you,
Wow.
all you've done is put things out. From paintings, to music, to ideas, to whatever, it's like your everyday work. It's like you're creating constantly. That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that I was already doing things like that for work, but yeah, the drive to like get my shit out,
to get over the finish line there.
get over, and just like, I don't know. Yeah. Like this is just, just when I was laying there, I was like, fuck, I'm about to join the 27 Club with nothing to show for it. So like Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, they're not all 27, but like
so young.
The Tupac, Biggie Smalls, they were all younger than me when they died. And I'm about to die with nothing to show for it.
Uh-huh.
And it really was like a fire in my ass to like
I could
do
understand
shit.
why you would need to let the music out, but you would also have left a legacy behind because you are loved by a tremendous amount of people,
Thank you. And I know that. And like
it's like a balance, I don't think it is all ego that wants to have a legacy remembered.
No.
But
yes.
But you mentioned like you want to influence culture, but maybe get more specific with it. Like, you influence Carlos, not Carlos's culture, but him to his
that's what I'm
core
talking
soul,
about.
and it like catapulted. It was a catalyst for all this like other things to happen. All
That's
these other
what
things.
I'm talking about. That's, you know, like directly affecting someone's life with what you put out is the most beautiful legacy that you can have.
I agree, and it's less abstract than affecting culture. Or
that's
being remembered as a pop
affecting
culture
is
figure or something
affecting
like that.
people.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Beatles
but on a
affected
large
culture,
scale.
but they also changed people forever.
I think affecting culture is a consequence of how they connected with people, and I think, you know, that is a consequence. It's not. I don't think.
I don't think that's the gasoline. That's not
that's
the fuel.
that's what I'm
it's
talking
not
about.
even for me either. Like when I create, I'm not like, oh, this song is gonna really push culture, or like it's really, or people like, I don't even care if people don't like it. Like I make it so that I like it. Once I like it, I put it out. You know, like, or I sit on it for 5 years. You know, but like,
One of the
but
other.
I make it so that I like it. You know, I'm not making things for the purpose of culture, but and I was already making music, but I was not releasing things. I wasn't.
Well, it's good that thing that was holding
putting
you
things
back, because you have like expressed sort of like perfectionist tendencies, right? Like you just, was it a perfectionism thing?
A little bit perfectionism, little fear of rejection, little fear of success.
So yeah, it just helped you get out of
All
your
those
own way,
things,
which is
you
what
know.
we all
Things
need
we
most
need
of
to
the time.
deal with.
I
Yeah.
think you're so right. It's just most of us, people have to get out of their own way, you know? Like we said, like, I don't know. I'm going to take your advice and focus on abundance right now.
I think it's the best way that one can do, because if you focus on that, you're gonna bring that in. That's as simple as that for me. That's what
Yeah.
I learned. That's my lesson.
Well, it
Yeah.
seems like both of you guys kind of adopted that very deeply and been up to great freaking things.
You have too.
Oh. Thank you.
She's a creation machine,
Oh.
and she's working on setting up her Etsy shop. I mean, she made this
man.
necklace. I got compliments on this necklace today. Again,
I spent the last time I was here, you know, we spent it on the porch creating things. She did not stop 1
I
second.
did
She
not.
doesn't.
I was working on that chair for like 8
Yeah.
hours.
right? It was the chair.
Oh my God!
I just was like stringing that chair back together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that I was like, you should start selling this stuff because you can't not make shit. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite things about you.
I haven't had I haven't had any major aha moment like, oh, I'm out of my way now, but I keep like trying so hard
Keep
to
trying.
get there. I'm getting closer all the while, but like Paul has been, it's so funny cuz it's a contagious energy, this gusto for life, this like need to just push past limits, and being with Paul has definitely made me do that.
That's
so
amazing.
often, like because I grew up like writing these little dramatic poems and like recording things on voice recorders, and I liked the idea of songwriting, but I don't know.
The
It's
song
just come
that-
so far working with Paul and putting out art out there. It really is. It's been fun.
And look, you're on the #1 podcast in Glendale.
Number one podcast in Glendale is now something I co-produce.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Actually, I don't know if
That
that's
probably
true.
isn't.
Actually,
Let's make
Tim
it true.
Heidecker
At
lives
least
in
on
Glendale.
Elk Lodge
let's
would be
make
my
it true.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll make it true.
Yeah, you're on the future #1 podcast in the world. I mean, come on.
I think it's already.
I agree.
In our hearts,
In
maybe.
our hearts,
in our hearts,
in our
for
souls,
sure.
and in
It's real.
it's real. And I just want to like clarify my love or fear thing. I don't think you should avoid fear. That's not what I meant by that.
I
like,
do.
If you're afraid of something, it doesn't mean like, oh, then I shouldn't do it because I'm afraid of it. It's kind of the opposite. But you like charge toward that fear with love. And
Yeah.
even when being scared, being hurt, being sad, being disappointed in yourself, in everything, like you charge towards that with love. And you know,
I
Yeah.
can get down on that. Yeah. Sure.
shoot.
Fear is I hate fear.
It's a bitch. It's the devil. Like God is love, fear is the devil. I think a lot of times when people are talking about the devil, they're sort of just talking about fear.
Which all they are talking about is their ignorance, because you know fear, most of the times, in my experience, comes from what you don't know. So the more ignorant you are, the more fear you're gonna feel, in front of the things that you don't know. And I think that's the major part of like a lot of big issues that we have as a society and as humans.
Yeah. Oh, fear is a plague.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it does
it's
seem
all
to
fed
generate
by
the ugliest of human behavior.
And most of the times it's fed by
judgment,
ignorance.
the aggression, all the
Greed, jealousy. It's all fear.
Who has
All that
time
shit.
for it?
Sophia's not scared of shit.
No, she's
She's
chilling.
brave. She's brave and beautiful.
Well, dude,
So
Thank
good
you
to
for
get
doing
job.
this.
Yes,
this
thank
was
you.
so.
I was reluctant.
I know. Well, you were actually. I was surprised that you were kind of like, I don't know what to. If I'm gonna.
No,
You're one of the most chatty guys I know. You
I
were
know.
kind of reluctant to
No,
get
but
on the mic.
Yeah, I always feel like but I felt I forgot about all that, and it was like very here,
Yeah.
But
Good.
I'm always I don't want to sound like I'm not me. You know what I mean? And a lot of times I feel like when a camera is on, people start pretending,
Oh, sure.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hate that.
Yeah, I think part of this exercise is like to sit here in front of that.
Yeah, and be yourself.
And totally be
Be
me.
yourself. Yeah, that was my exercise. Okay, if you say
Just
some
be Carlos.
stupid shit,
Yeah.
just deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get there someday.
It's
It's
a humbling activity
It
for sure.
It is, and that he prepared for me. It's like, so what are we going to talk about? It's like, you know what? It's like, I don't know. We're just going to catch up. The way that we talk is a little different, but it's exactly the same as if we were talking. And actually, you were so right about that.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said all that because now I confused him. But
No,
like,
no,
I was
it-
just like,
it's because it's
I
more
was like,
clear.
it's
You
exciting
have to
because-
be clear about what you say.
Right.
That's,
and we end up having a conversation
Yeah.
that's different.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had this exact conversation if
Yeah.
we were just sitting on the couch over there. We would have still talked,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't have been exactly the same.
No, it would have been like for a second, and then we would have not, gone deep into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So my favorite thing about this is just the conversations we get to have with our friends.
Yeah, that's
like,
awesome.
Conversations we would never have. you know?
That's awesome. You guys are awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Carlos. Back
Thank
at
you for having
man.
me.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for. I mean, how long have you been in town for? What's your
Since
scoop?
Thursday, I arrived Thursday morning. I went straight to a scout, and I'm shooting on Friday,
Okay. And then
Yes.
when are you leaving?
Saturday, and I'm hoping that I come back soon, probably at the end of next week.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
Yeah,
come
'cause-
back. We'll cook for you again.
or
Yeah.
I cook for you again.
Or
Hey,
we'll
no.
co-cook. Let's go cook.
Yes, maybe I'll do the ravioli again.
Nice. I actually have a pasta maker in there. I've been meaning to try out.
Are you
a
kidding
new one
me?
I haven't used yet.
Oh yeah,
Let's break it in.
oh yeah. Let's do it.
Let's break it in. Just don't break it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Carlos Veron.
Woo!
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Thank you, bro.
I love you.
Unreal. I love you too.
right back.
That was fucking A. Thank
was a
you,
good
guys.
one.
Oh, this was awesome.
That was fun.
love this podcast.
Oh.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Dude, thank you for
That was
doing
so
this.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.